Welcome to This Is Getting Old, Moving Towards an Age-Friendly World. I'm your host, Dr. Melissa Batchelor, and on today's episode, I'll be sharing 6 exercises to reduce falls. So in 2022 in the United States, of the top 5 leading causes of death, 3 of them are chronic conditions, so heart disease, cancer, respiratory diseases, and coming in third, not surprisingly, is COVID-19. But number 4 may surprise you. It's actually accidents and unintentional injuries. And just in case you're wondering, Alzheimer's disease is in the number 6 spot right now. But as we age, the risk of falling and fall-related injuries increases. In fact, 1 in 4 Americans over the age of 65 fall every year. And the consequences of falling can be pretty devastating. They're the number 1 leading cause of fractures in the United States, and they're the second leading cause of unintentional injury and death globally. And a geriatrician I once worked for told me that the most important muscles for preventing falls and reducing frailty were our quadriceps, which makes sense to me. It's also a reason why I wouldn't really recommend one of those recliners that automatically kind of lifts and propels you out of it. Because while technology can be a really good thing, you really don't want to compensate when you could actually just get stronger. So use your own strength for as long as you can. Because think about it, while it's important to be able to get out of a chair, it's really important to get on and off of your toilet. So improving your strength and balance are key ways to reducing your risk of falling. And I'm going to actually demonstrate some of these exercises for you in this episode. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see those. Otherwise, I'll describe them for you. But these exercises can reduce that risk by improving your stability and your strength and balance. So if you feel unsteady or you want to prevent feeling unsteady, these are 6 very low impact exercises that you can adapt to your own ability and your overall health. And there are a lot of choices out there. So depending on if you're having any other pain or balance issues, you can find other exercises online. So exercise number 1, balancing on one foot. This sounds just like what it is. You're just standing on one foot. But if you feel like you're unstable, you can hold onto a wall or a grab bar until your balance improves. And once you feel stable enough, this will be an easy one to anytime you're standing in line waiting to do something that you could practice balancing on one foot. I know for myself, just turned 51 a couple of weeks ago, but some friends and I met at this hot yoga place, and one of the exercises was getting us to stand on one foot. And we were like, it is interesting if you don't do these things, how quickly you can lose some of your stability. But at the same time, we were like, we just have to keep coming back and doing it because this is something that will improve actually very quickly. So exercise number 2, standing on your tiptoes. Also sounds just like it is. Basically, you're just moving from standing flat-footed to standing on your toes. And just like balancing on one foot, you definitely want to hold on to a wall or a grab bar until you can do this stably. This is also a great exercise for your calf muscles and something you can do while you're waiting in line. Or just standing. Exercise number 3 is sitting to standing without using your hands. And this exercise is where you're sitting on either a chair or in the demonstration that I do for you, I'm sitting on like a weight bench, but you go from sitting to standing without the use of your arms on the chair. And in geriatrics, this is part of what we call a timed up and go test. But you should basically be able to stand up from your chair, walk 10 feet, turn around and walk back to the chair and sit down without any assistance within 12 seconds. And any older adult who can't do this is at risk for falling. So if you're visiting your care provider, this is one test that you could ask them to do because it may help to get a referral to physical therapy to help you learn to do all these exercises in your own home. With any adaptations or modifications you might need. So exercise number 4 is leg extensions. So a leg extension is simply while you're seated, lifting your legs out in front of you one at a time. And this exercise actually specifically works on your quadriceps, much like the sitting to standing exercise that I just mentioned. Exercise number 5 is walking. Getting out and walking or walking around inside your house if you can't get outside is also very important. Staying active is important for our health and well-being in general, but it's really important for reducing our risks of falls. So walk with a friend or a family member. That can make things fun. And in the video, I really appreciate my youngest for going with me on a walk when I was recording some of the B-roll for this episode. Exercise number 6 is gentle stretches. And you can do gentle stretches for your hips and your legs to improve your flexibility and actually relieve any pain that you may have a few times a week. I actually prefer to lie down to stretch my lower body. And I'm also experiencing some hip pain that I'm working on. With COVID, I was sitting way too much and, just kind of churn and burn with the work. So now my right hip needs a lot more stretching. But you can try these stretches. And what you want to do is just work your way up into holding them for at least 30 seconds. But if you're new to stretching, be sure that you don't do anything that hurts. So the first stretch that I'm demonstrating here is knee to chest. This is when you lie on your back with your legs straight out. You lift the leg that you want to stretch and bend your knee. And then with your opposite hand, gently pull your knee to your chest. You can, once you're good with this one, you can add a side stretch like a twist. And that's when you let your knee or you pull your knee across your body in a twisting movement. And I like this one because it really helps me feel that stretch in my right hip and my butt. And I also stretch my piriformis because that's actually the muscle in my hip that bothers me the most by putting my ankle over my knee and then just letting it rest there for a while. But you can also grab under your thigh and pull your knee towards your chest, which just kind of extends just the piriformis stretch that I described. So if you're having issues with balance and stability, please see your medical provider because there are other things that could be playing into that, like medications or other healthcare issues. But in addition, they may be able to give you or you could request a referral to physical therapy or PT. And PT can help you establish a home routine that works for you, for your specific strength and balance issues. And there are other things you can do to reduce your risk of falling, like looking at your home, that type of thing. So you can learn more about this by either Googling how to reduce risk for falling online, but you can also check out the show notes below or visit my website at melissabphd.com to check out some of the links that I provided to learn more. Thank you for tuning in today and stay balanced.
Thank you for tuning in to This is Getting Old, Moving Towards an Age-Friendly World. I'm your host, Melissa Batchelor, and if you'd like to learn more, you can check out my other episodes on my YouTube channel by subscribing and ringing the bell to get immediate notifications when new content comes out. In addition, you can also find the audio version of the podcast on Amazon Music, Spotify, iTunes, and Stitcher. Please feel free to leave an honest review because more reviews mean more awareness of the podcast and helps us move towards an age-friendly world. If you have a comment or a question, you can visit my website, melissabphd.com. Go to the Contact Melissa tab, and you can leave me a voice message. You never know, I might just include your question or your comment in an upcoming episode.